Mr. Ajam, CapeStance OTF. Before we even get started, did you just wake up yesterday morning and choose violence? Did you just feel like, I'm going to set the world on fire today? Let me
It's
make a
violence
bit of it
today.
and talk about OTF. What is this whole thing about?
Yeah, so it's been a long time coming. The last event we had in 2018, and post-COVID, we were going to have another event, and I just didn't feel like the time was right. And then I started judging shows. So we judged like Slam at the Lake, and there was another show, can't remember now.
Yeah,
But being and attending the shows and getting to see what Joburg and Cape Town and Durban has to offer, I felt like we were lagging behind, and it's also because we weren't hosting enough shows. And shows generally is what creates hype and let guys be like, okay, let's spend that money, let's push the build and
yeah,
do the build I've always wanted to do. And
yeah,
prior to that, we thought, okay, I'm gonna try and start running a business, have a Cape Stance HQ, and let's drive the traffic through there and have it the first Wednesdays, and let that be the hype. But the hype wasn't strong enough to get the scene to where I wanted it to be. And when
yeah,
it goes lit, there's a lot of like hooligans there. Then it starts being a burnout fest, and it's like
yeah,
you can't even talk over the burnouts. And I love burnouts. I love donuts, and I'm not like, it's just a time and place. That type of thing.
yeah,
And that whole thing fizzled out because we stopped it because the last one was at Century Karting, and in the
yeah,
parking lot, guys are going on like crazy. It's just like the owner of the company of Century Karting is like saying, the guys are going on crazy out here, and Canal's gonna ask them what's happening. So it was like a
yeah,
whole ripple effect of taking responsibility of randoms going on like crazy. So
yeah,
just shut down everything. And I thought, okay, let's go and bring this thing, bring Cape Stance alive and do what we do best. It was our events. And OTF is, the thing that was our milestone event.
yeah,
And if you're gonna do it, we're gonna do it hard. So now at the same breath, that's why, doing it hard is bringing up the caliber of the builds that we're gonna have on display. And that
yeah.
result in the
And
post that we had
this is the thing
yesterday.
that I wanted to sort of touch on, the caliber of the balls, because, and I'm sorry to pinpoint this one specific thing because it's exactly what the internet is on fire about. You've got everyone's panties in a bunch because they're talking about wheel choices, and your little pyramid. So do me a favor, don't you just want to look before I even go anywhere with this, right? I've got no dog in this fight. I've got no
Mm.
allegiance to Cape Stance or affiliation to Cape Stance or the events or any of these things that
Disclaimer.
happen, right? And because people will come at, no, Jason this, Jason said that, Boostsa
Yeah.
said blah 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 blah.
Are you
It's happened
supporting
so
Tauriq's
many
decision?
times. What?
You're just here to be a platform for me to communicate what I've said and put out there. And that's it. I mean, so
one Hundred
in
percent.
that way, you're
Hit him with
neutral in
your
this whole thing. And,
hit him
you
with your
know,
lawyer speak, bro. Hit him with your lawyer
yeah.
speak. Do that thing.
But yeah,
So
so it's all like, I'm happy with all the fire directed at me because I'm not doing it with any malicious intent. I'm not doing it to like, push anyone down. And if they read the post clearly, it was not that the reps are not going to be allowed. It said that that's why there's the whole pyramid thing. It's a tiering
yeah,
system. So it's like in preference of the higher tier, and it doesn't mean that because you're on the lower tier, you're not invited or welcome to OTF. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think people just started to go on the thing of, if we don't have real wheels, you're not going to be allowed in, and then everybody just went crazy about like reps are not
yeah,
allowed, blah blah blah. So to set this record straight, like I said, I even elaborated that we will allow reps and that if reps are customized and we don't want off the shelf stuff, like if you come there and you just went to go buy a set of wheels anyway and you fit it to
mm,
your car and that guy had stock of 3 sets, all the sets sold for OTF and we have 3 cars with the same wheels on, like what's the
yeah,
excitement in that? And
yeah,
that's kind of the whole substance of why it needs to be customized and why it needs to be made your own, because that is
yeah,
a little bit of adding some character to something and like your build, and not letting it just be off the shelf. And
yeah.
that's to
If I
kind
can
of
just touch on something
things
quickly, if I
exciting.
can just,
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at your post now, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So wheel brand pyramid, you've got tier one, tier two, and tier three. Tier one is
Mm.
reputable name brands. Tier two is reputable, respected brands. Wait, hold on, I can't see shit. I'm getting my old ass can't see anything without the glasses on. Tier two is reputable, respected brands, high quality materials, and then got tier three imitation brands, often referred to as reps. But now,
Okay.
so let me just break this down quickly so that everyone understands. Doesn't matter what wheel you've got, short of it not being just a straight off the shelf, it doesn't mean you aren't going to be allowed access or aren't going to
To
be
the
allowed to
genuine,
compete.
yeah. Like it's still the whole pre-reg and scrutineering phase and all that type of thing. So I mean, like it literally went like viral, like escalated way too quick for what the matter was. It was just like getting everybody warmed up. But I was like, okay, cool, let's go with it. And the
Yeah,
point of the whole thing is, I think people are just being like interpreting it wrong, and then everybody's like going on. It's like a whole snowball effect, discussing the
yeah.
wrong point of view and then making their own opinion on the whole thing. And for example, there's
So I had a
one
bit of a,
car in the
I've got a bit of a scenario. I've got a
yeah,
bit of
go
a
for it.
scenario with
I
this
was going to
now.
give you a
How
scenario as well.
important?
Uh,
Sorry.
I was going to give you a scenario as well. Like, for example, one of our, like, flagship cars is on a set of reps that's been customized. And we've
Yeah,
done a shoot on the car and we featured the car. And if he doesn't change the wheels, it will still be at OTF on reps. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
he's already saying that we're not having reps on the show, but
yeah,
we want to obviously. And the reason why I said educate is that people feel like if you have reps on your car and your car is looking amazing, that's the end of your build. And in my
yeah,
opinion, that's like a stepping stone from you going to tier three, tier two, to tier one, and then
yeah.
your build done. And that's what I'm trying
Okay.
to educate on, because
So,
what you'll see in the scene, everybody's like, oh, bags and wheels, and you're done. But they're saying it's
and you
like
make,
bags.
yeah, bags and wheels make a bull. Yeah,
Yeah. And the reason why they're saying that is because then the guys get features, they get sold, the vehicle gets sold, and they move on to the next one. And that's where
yeah,
the recipe is like ending. And I'm trying to clarify that like the recipe doesn't end there. And reps are the stepping stone up the ladder. Do you know what I mean? So
yes,
if the budget doesn't accommodate for real wheels, it's not saying you can't do reps and like reps is
yeah,
taboo. I know it's part of the scene and you can't like shun them because there are real wheel guys that will like shun reps and like be like, oh, if you got reps, you like, listen, whatever. And that's not what we're doing. We are trying to give you a clarity on what the levels to the wheel game is. And
hmm,
then look, when I've got reps, I haven't gone to tier one. Let's push my build to tier one. And like saying, okay, you bagged it and you're on split on reps, and you kind of feel like everything's done. So enjoy the car, and while you're enjoying the car, you're not spending any extra money on your modifications. You can save on a monthly basis and get to a point where you're
yeah.
like, okay, I've got 20K now. I want to buy 30K set of wheels. You sell your
Money.
reps, and then the rest of the money of your reps fills your savings, and you got a set of real wheels. But it's not a overnight story. Like I mean,
Yeah, you're
like
working
I know
towards.
it's not I've started, collecting wheels when I was in campus and I wasn't earning any money. I would buy and sell stuff and
Yeah, we all
trade up.
remember that from Wonder.
Yeah, and I mean that time you're balling on a student budget. That's like I've been in the tight spaces where you're not making money and you want to look cool on the road and like have coilovers. That time BCs were only 7,500. Now BCs are
Yeah.
like 30,000, and the
Look,
longer it takes to buy
before you carry on
quality.
with that, just give me 1 second. Before you carry on with that, I just want to go back to. I get what I 100% get what you're saying, right? But let's just tie this up with OTF quickly. Let's give people an idea, or can you give people an idea of exactly what OTF is? Look, it's by you guys, which is Cape Stance. It's always been about stance. It's always been about fitment. It's always been about wheels, right?
Mm.
OTF as a show, okay? You are judging cars, you're judging bulls, you're judging interiors, you're judging paintwork, all of this kind of thing. But is there a balance there? Are you sort of more focused on the wheel and then looking at the rest of the car, or are you looking at the
So that's
overall
what I'm
car
saying.
and the wheel plays a big part of it? How is it being judged?
So I started on the wheels because wheels are like a make and break for me on a build. Like you can have a Lambo and then you put replica wheels on, it's gonna
Yeah,
leave a sour taste in your mouth. You're like,
yeah,
you spend like millions on the thing, and now you're downgrading it with these wheels because the original wheels that's on there is way more expensive. So don't go backwards, as an example.
yeah.
So, and the same with if you have like a Mark One or a Conquest and you've got 30K wheels on there, that's the value of the car. It's going to take your car to the best level of that category car. So
Okay,
if you're like putting on lips and spoilers and doing a color change, it's not going to really like elevate the vehicle to another level where you say everybody's got. So you like I like to compare categories of cars against each other. So like if you're in the conquest class and then it's all the Toyota Conquests, and if it's
okay,
Hondas, you like all the Hondas, and then at the end of having the best of each, that's how we like judge OTF, like each brand
okay,
and who's the best of the brand, and then all the best of all the brands will be best, like we'll choose best of show, right?
okay. Then just want
So
to go back to this quickly. So, okay, I got okay. That explains a lot of that. But when it
mm,
comes to what a lot of guys are moaning about on the internet right now is they're assuming that because they got reps or because they don't have OEM wheels that they can't enter. Is that correct or incorrect? Can they still enter? You'll be entering in a different class. You maybe not you're not going to get best of show with your reps, but you might
yeah.
still win in your particular tier. Is that correct?
So that's, well, you confuse me there now, but it's correct that you are allowed to enter,
Okay.
and we're not excluding replica wheels at all. I've never said anywhere no reps allowed. So that's
Okay.
like
So
a
they can
blanket
still
statement
enter the
over
show
the
and shine
whole.
and be judged.
At the end of the show, I literally just said in the beginning that Kasim's Liberty Walk M3, he's got replica wheels widened to 13 J's on there.
Yeah.
And that's going to be cooler than a lot of real wheels that they have like 1 inch lips. Do you know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Okay.
we also have the best example of replica wheels in Cape Stance as well. And
Yeah.
like it's a clear thing. If I'm anti reps, Kasim wouldn't be in Cape Stance. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I don't know how much more
100%.
clear you want to be that like there's no like
Now, I just wanted
anti-rep
it to come out of your mouth. I wanted people to hear you
bias.
say it because what people are going to do is they're going to snip sections of this. Yeah, but Tauriq said that. No, but so and so said that. And they're going to clip this piece out. And the pieces that refer to
Ah,
them are the pieces that they're going to share. Right.
mm,
So the scenario that I had earlier on is a lot of people are moaning about reps and the tiers and that kind of thing. But you know what? It's like in the racing circles, right? If you drive stock cars at Killarney, I know it's not the exact same type of situation, but if you're a stock car driver and you're really good at stock cars and your car is really fast and you're winning your particular class all the time, and you then want to enter your car for the F1 and you want to be mad because you can't go there. It's not the same thing. It's not the same car. It's not the same class. You can't be mad because you can't enter. It's similar with this wheels. You're going to be at a wheel show. Yes, you're going to be in that class because of what you've got. Don't be mad at the guys that are maybe spending a little bit more money further along in their lives and they can afford a bit more things now. Work towards that if you want it, but don't throw shade on the guys that are at that particular level where you aren't yet. I don't understand the mentality of some of these guys on social media. It's a little bit backward thinking, so they can clip
yeah,
that if they want to. I know I'm going to lose a lot of friends, but this is the truth. This is what it's at. Show
but
love to
I
the
think
guys that have put the work in and just,
mm,
stay in your lane and be happy for the
mm.
other guys.
Okay, so there I have to like dumb that down. Like I don't want to be like stay in your lane type of thing and create lanes and then
I
create
said it. They can clip
segments.
that part. I said it.
I'm not a person to shut people down. I actually the reason why we started Cape Stance is to incorporate a scene and expose that cars are acceptable hobbies. Because in the industry, you have people like in the professional industry, so say to say beauty, fashion, and corporates. If you
Yeah,
are interested in cars, you're looked at as like, oh no, this is just like this is a small time thing. It's a hobby or whatever, and they don't take you seriously, and it's
yeah,
difficult for people in the automotive industry to do business, to make money, and for them to like sustain themselves off it. Where if you look in the UK and the US, people are making livelihoods off cars and like fitting audio stuff or wheels or selling wheels or whatever. But because our scene is like become a niche, or it has always been seen as a niche, it
Yeah.
results in the scene staying stagnant. And like, it's people don't want to invest money into cars because it's looked as like, oh, it's going to be a money pit or whatever.
Mhm.
But if you let the scene become more acceptable and widely accepted, it's going to generate cash flow into the whole industry. And that's like what
Yeah.
OTF and Cape Town has been about, is producing
Yeah.
quality and making sure that the standard of work that we deliver, or content we deliver, is of a high caliber, so that
Yeah.
it can be respected, and see that, oh, there is something cool about the cars. Oh, there is something that you can do with in business about the cars. And then now with having OTF, it's the platform for all automotive enthusiasts to network and grow. So by them victimizing themselves and saying reps are not allowed, they're closing themselves off from the opportunity of us growing and educating each other. And I don't know everything. So even when I say educating people, I might know a little about wheels, but it doesn't mean I know everything. And then everyone else
Yeah.
knows nothing. I was like, people are putting words in people's mouths, and like it's crazy. But if people know that the main aim of Cape Stance is to uplift, inspire, and grow the scene, then everybody
Mhm.
will be happier, because no one's trying to put anyone down, and we're trying to grow the scene to the level where internationally people want to come down here. And like, if it's people from the UK and they'll be like, oh, these cool things happening in Cape Town, let's see what's happening here. They come down here, and maybe the guy brings a set of wheels with, and it's like he sells it here, and that like adds another set of split wheels here, which we don't like,
Yeah.
you can't find easily. Or it's a network you create, and makes things more accessible. And that's all the opportunities that comes from, OTF and growing the automotive scene. And it starts by producing quality builds. So we can't have the whole of the venue. I was going to say the venue now. The whole of the venue um, filled with replica wheels, and not saying that
Yeah.
these replicas are bad. On the diagram, it says it's a tier of the wheel category.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So tier three, tier two, tier one. And I would predominantly want tier one and two there, because that is only the fittest. We're producing the fittest vehicles for display. And
Yeah.
we will have enough space. We've got 4,900 square meters of floor space for display
Okay, talk,
vehicles
talk about
inside.
space and venue. Have you published? Have you let people know where the venue is yet? You haven't you let go of that yet?
Not yet. So this is all build up. So
Yeah.
this me dropping the wheels thing was just like the first aspect of it. Like, I'm still gonna touch on interior and paintwork and engine bay and all the stuff.
Are we going
So
to have more tiers in
actually
your
go back,
interior and the paintwork? Is there going to be more
yeah.
tiers, or
So
was it just a
going
one
back
tier?
into your question, like the wheels are an important part. It's something that I love, and like I've been a wheel enthusiast for very long. And stance is kind of orientated around wheels, because the wheels you can swap and change on different vehicles, and like as you go
Yeah.
through things, and like if you invest like thousands into it, it doesn't mean that when you sell that car that you have to let go of the wheels. You know what I mean? That wheels stay
Yeah.
with you, because if you've got the right PCD, or if you run adapters, you can, it's like kind of associated to your style then, like if you like
Yeah.
a certain type of wheel, like that's, what people associate you with and whatever. And I just want people to be able to understand the tiering system, so that they can make more informed decisions on their wheel choices to grow the scene.
Sounds good, my guy. Sounds good. So, look, between now and then, right, where are people going to sort of catch up on all the updates and just stay abreast of the situation? Is it just on Facebook and Instagram, Cape Stance? What are the
Yeah.
socials where people should be looking to stay in touch?
Yeah, at CapeStance on Instagram and Facebook. I'm gonna do
Okay.
a event once all the details are live, like a event,
Okay.
thing on Facebook, and then people can, say going or interested. But
Okay.
everything will be on our social media, and I'll probably do some YouTube videos on our YouTube about like what we're going to be judging on, what the vision for the event is, and doing
Yeah.
a venue walkthrough, all that kind of things on our YouTube, which is also just at Cape Stance.
Sounds good, my guy. So I'll be very honest. I was hoping you'd be. I wasn't expecting you to be as level-headed as you are now. I was expecting you to say something, very edgy, so that we would
Yeah,
get some smoke from this. But no, you were just doing your lawyer speak and being very
yeah,
eloquent with the whole thing. Thank you
Yeah.
for nothing, Don.
No worries. Yeah, you see,
I'm
the
just
thing
kidding,
is,
my guy.
no, that's the thing. Is like people paint me out to be such a villain, and I'm not really. So that's the
I
hilarious
wanted you to
part
be the
about it.
villain. I wanted you to be the villain for this one, but no, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Look, my guy, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks
I
for the
hope
time
this
on
enlightens
your
a few
channel.
people so they get an idea of what OTF is going to be about. So yeah, we'll put this out there, and then the 7th and was the 7th and
On
the 8th or the 7th of December when it's going down.
Yes. So all like the venues, I mean, all the information about the venue, the vendors, pre-registration, we'll roll that all out through on our social media, and then you'll pop us through an email and all that kind of thing. So yeah, we're literally in the initial stages of marketing the event.
Awesome stuff, Ajam. Thanks so much for your time, bro. Appreciate it, and good luck with all
Anytime.
the planning. And yeah, just keep your heart strong for the comments, bro. They're just starting.
Will do. See you, man. Bye.
Cheers, bud.